Hello and welcome to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. We're here at Alumni Field today. I'm Morris Fabry alongside my partner, Jeremy Parks. We're here at Alumni Field today for the first game, Michigan's first game of the NCAA Regional here in Ann Arbor. Today, the Wolverines are hosting the Oakland Grizzlies, who not only won the Horizon League, but also won the Horizon League tournament, thus clinching them an automatic bid here in this tournament today. They come in to face a Wolverines team on, I think, a 20-game win streak, coming off of a Big Ten championship, a Big Ten tournament championship. And it all starts for the Wolverines in the circle, where today Megan Betza goes up against the Grizzlies. What should we expect out of Betza today, Jeremy?
Well, we asked this before pretty much every broadcast, Morris, and it's always boiled down to about one word, and that's absolute dominance. That's two words, but dominance would be the operative word there. Betza coming into today's game after a fantastic weekend last weekend at the Big Ten tournament down in Columbus, coming in with a under 2 ERA, as she has been all season, coming in at a $1.44. She's played in just about every important game for the Wolverines this season. It's thrown her heart out, coming in with 26-4 record, opponents hitting a scant 162 against her, and it's going to take a bit of a miracle for the just down 94 team of the Golden Grizzlies to do anything of great effect against Betza this afternoon.
The lineup facing Betza today, leading off out of the lefty batter's box, will be the second baseman, Jackie Kisman. We'll give you the entirety of the lineup between innings, but we're about ready to get underway here at Alumni Field. Sweet is behind the plate. Betza on the rubber. Kisman ready to step into that batter's box. Your umpires today behind home plate, Matt Johnson. Down the first base line, Eric Mandley, and at third base, Laura Head. Betza winds the first pitch, swing and a miss. On a riser up and out of the zone. Kisman with that traditional run-up swing, and not much of a power hitter, but she is hitting .363 on the year, setting the table for the Grizzlies.
Well, early on all season, we've seen Megan Betza go a little bit off speed early on, and if it doesn't work, falls back on the hard stuff.
The 0-1 pitch is cut on and missed. Another one up and out of the zone. She is climbing the ladder. Jackie Kisman not able to keep up.
Megan Betza, a big fan of climbing the ladder. Some nights it works for her, some nights it doesn't. Early on here, it looks like getting a couple bites as she tries to go up with the high stuff.
The 0-2 pitch from Betza misses well high above the head of Kisman. She chased the first two out of the zone, but that one she would have needed a step ladder to even offer at. The count now 1-2 on the senior second baseman.
Kisman not the tallest of the Grizzlies lineup.
The 1-2 pitch from Betza just misses off the outside corner with a fastball there. Almost caught the outside corner, but not quite. A home plate up, Matt Johnson does not go up with the right hand. The count now 2-2 on Kisman. Kisman with three doubles and two triples on the year, no home runs. The 2-2 pitch from Betza, swing and a miss. Fastball up and out of the zone. Kisman could not catch up. One up and one down via the punch out for Megan Betza.
She's a K machine, Megan Betza. She has 275 on the season coming into this game. Make that 276. That's just about absolutely insane. That's all I have to say.
Just got to throw up your hands. It's unfathomable stuff. Now Morgan Muron into the righty batter's box. Check swing at the first pitch. Up and out of the zone. They appeal down to first, and first base ump Eric Manley says that she did not go. Muron, a righty hitter, plays third base for the Grizzlies, hitting .279 on the year. Stands with her feet close together near the back of the batter's box. The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a big miss. Fastball up in the zone. Muron could not catch up. Looked to be trying to drive that one out beyond the 200 in left field. Came up empty. The count now 1-1 on Muron. Outfield and infield shaded at normal depth. Betza winds and delivers the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. And home plate ump Matt Johnson rules that she did go too far there. Betza has been hammering the high parts of the zone, hammering the parts above the zone with great success early on. The count 1-2 now on Muron. Betza winds and delivers. The 1-2 pitch just misses high with fastball there. That looked like it could have been strike three.
Well, early on here today, it's been a raucous Michigan Wolverines crowd, about the fullest we've ever seen Alumni Field during one of our broadcasts, and that's some home field advantage right there.
The 2-2 pitch misses high again with fastball. The count now full on Muron. Muron has 14 walks on the year in 46 games played. Not only is it full of fans and the bleachers out in right field and the grandstand surrounding home plate, but we even got the marching band here. The 3-2 pitch from Betza it's a called strike three. Got the upper part of the strike zone. Muron halfway down to first base before she turned and realized she had been punched out. 2 up, 2 down for the Grizzlies up against Megan Betza.
Big delayed call from home plate umpire Matt Johnson, but Betza put that one right on the inside part of the zone, I should say, and caught just enough of it to ring her up for her second strikeout of the inning.
That'll bring up the shortstop. Sarah Hartley swings at the first pitch, pops it up into shallow left. Ramirez ranging out, will make the catch. 1-2-3 inning for the Oakland Grizzlies against Megan Betza, and that will bring up the Wolverines lineup. Before we introduce you to those players, we'll give you the full extent of the Oakland Grizzlies lineup, as they might be a little more unfamiliar than your hometown team. Second base leading off Jackie Kisman. Third base hitting second Morgan Muron. At shortstop hitting third Sarah Hartley. Hitting fourth and playing first base is Sarah Cupp. Hitting fifth and playing left field is Courtney Johnson. Hitting sixth and playing right field is Lauren Mead. Hitting seventh, the designated player Laura Pond. Hitting eighth, the catcher Lindsay Hill. Hitting ninth, the center fielder Marina Salinas. And on the rubber for the Oakland Grizzlies today is Erin Kanecki. Jeremy, give us some stats on Kanecki. What do you know about her?
Well, if Megan Betza is dominant in terms of Big Ten pitching, Erin Kanecki is about as dominant as it gets in terms of Horizon League pitching, albeit slightly different. She's facing a lot more difficult competition here today with one of the most explosive offensive lineups in all of college softball. But she's held her own this season coming into this game with a 2.43 ERA. She's 16-12 in the win-loss column. She's appeared in 29 games for the Grizzlies, and only one of those actually came in relief. And opponents hitting a fairly decent 258 against her, but she does bring not necessarily the same speed as Megan Betza brings. Rarely few do, but she brings good accuracy as far as the scouting report goes, hits her corners well, and look for that early on here today.
Nevertheless, she is perhaps a little fish in a big pond here today. Under the lights here at Alumni Field, facing one of the best lineups in the country in the Michigan Wolverines. That lineup will be led off by the center fielder Sierra Lawrence. Hitting second, the second baseman Sierra Romero, the Big Ten player of the tournament, and I believe ESPNW's National Player of the Year.
You do believe correct.
She has had a phenomenal season, capped off the regular season portion with 3 home runs in 3 games in that Big Ten tournament that we covered. Hitting behind her in the lineup, the left fielder Kelly Christner. Hitting fourth, the right fielder Kelsey Susala. Hitting fifth, the catcher Lauren Sweet. Hitting sixth, at third base, Lindsay Montemarano. Hitting seventh, the designated player Aiden Falk. Hitting eighth, the first baseman Tara Blanco. And hitting ninth, the shortstop, always adept at turning the lineup over, Abby Ramirez. That's your Michigan lineup for today. And Jeremy, any thoughts residual from the Big Ten tournament? What do you think we're going to see today?
Well, the Wolverines had just a pretty apropos Big Ten tournament. You know, just crushed the ball. Run ruled the first 2 games. Took them a little bit longer against Nebraska, but still got it done late. And I think they totaled somewhere around 35, 40 runs over the course of the weekend there. And I think the highlight of that was that bottom of the second inning in their first game of the tournament against Penn State, in which they put up a 13 spot, and that pretty much set the tone for the rest of the weekend for the Wolverines as they march towards the hardware.
Yeah, the score of the Penn State game ended up 16-1. They then beat Northwestern 9-0 in 5 innings before beating Nebraska in the finale 6-1 to take home the Big Ten tournament crown. Leading off is a hitter didn't have her best weekend down in Columbus, Ohio, Sierra Lawrence. The first pitch from Kanecki misses low and away for ball 1.
Well, Lawrence didn't have a great weekend down in Columbus, but she's having a great season coming into this one, still hitting .369 with 13 home runs and 50 RBI.
Kanecki's 1-0 pitch. Off-speed pitch off the plate outside. The count now 2-0 on Sierra Lawrence, who is no stranger to the base on balls. She has 43 walks on the season, second best on the team. Kanecki winds the 2-0 pitch on the outside corner for strike 1.
And that's what Kanecki's going to have to do pretty much all game against this Wolverines lineup. Try and keep it away from their bats, because I'm pretty sure everybody in Alumni Field knows just how dangerous it can be if you leave anything out over the plate.
The 2-1 pitch just misses off the plate outside. The count now 3-1 on Lawrence, who will have her choice of a pitch to drive somewhere out into this sunset sky. The sun, I guess that's a little disingenuous. It's still in the air, hidden behind a cloud right now. The 3-1 pitch, swung and grounded back up the middle. A diving effort by the second baseman, Kisman, but she can just knock it down. Lawrence safe with an infield single to lead off the Wolverines' effort in the bottom of the first.
Well, picking up right where they left off in terms of the offense with a quick leadoff base hit to sort of set the table for this top or bottom of the first inning for the Wolverines.
And that'll bring up Sierra Romero. Romero with 3 home runs over the 3 games in that Big Ten tournament, a grand slam against the Nittany Lions. I think a 2-run shot against Northwestern, and then a 3-run homer to break the game open against Nebraska. The first pitch she sees is right down the heart of the plate for strike 1.
Well, we saw their catcher Lindsey Hill just get up out of her crouch immediately. Sierra Lawrence is the most dangerous base stealer on the Wolverines team. 21 for 22 on stolen base attempts this season. She took a bit of a healthy lead after the pitch there.
The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball bunted down the first base line. It is a beauty, and Lawrence is going to beat it out. Romero's going to beat it out with no throw. Lawrence down to second base, and that was picture-perfect fundamental bunting right there by Sierra Romero, and you can't think that Oakland would expect that.
You can't bunt it any better than that. So much, in fact, that Sierra Romero almost stepped on the ball as she was headed down the first baseline, about 2 steps out of the batter's box. But, boy, first baseman for the Golden Grizzlies there, Sarah Cupp, ran down the first baseline, but second baseman Kissman could not get there in time to make any sort of a play, and trouble brewing early on here.
Kelly Christner, the first pitch from Kaneki, misses off the plate outside for ball 1, a close pitch there. Christner has 2 on with no out for her. Also didn't have a great weekend in the Big Ten tournament, but had her share of key hits and obviously a big-time power threat. The 1-0 pitch from Kaneki, breaking ball off the plate, blown away. Hill tried to frame it, nothing doing. The count now 2-0 on the sophomore left fielder for the Wolverines.
Well, obviously a big power threat coming into this one with a team leading 18 home run, 56 RBI. Or I believe she actually fell to second.
Yeah, second in the team tally as she takes ball 3 off the plate outside. Romero surpassed her with 3 home runs on that Big Ten tournament weekend. However, she has had it for, I'd say, most of the year. 3-0 count now on Christner. The pitch from Kaneki on the outside corner. Christner taking all the way, as has been the blanket policy for these Wolverines. The count now 3-1 on Christner.
Christner just very adept at getting just enough underneath that ball to carry it over these fences here at Alumni Field.
The 3-1 pitch, called strike on the outer edge. That one perhaps a bit of a closer pitch. Christner opted to take it. Now the count's full.
Still good location there from Kaneki. Really tempting Christner to swing at that one, but just enough that she decided not to lift the bat off her shoulder.
The 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a fastball, low and away. That one probably in the zone if she let it go by. Overpowering stuff there from Kaneki to record the first out of the game for the Wolverines.
Christner, a big power hitter, but she is second on the team overall in strikeouts. That'll be her 30th strikeout on the season, and the only one with more than her is Kelsey Susala, who has 31.
Susala hitting in that lefty batter's box for the Wolverines. Had a pretty good weekend in the Big Ten tournament. She will take the first pitch up and out of the zone outside for ball 1. Susala nursing an injury over the last part of the regular season. Got healthy, played in the Big Ten tournament, had a couple key hits, and she's here today with 2 on and 1 out for the Wolverines. Kaneki winds, the 1-0 pitch. Off speed, low, misses for ball 2. The count now 2-0. Kaneki again behind in the count to a Wolverine hitter.
Susala did have a couple big doubles and 2 or 3 key singles in that Big Ten tournament last weekend that really sparked some big rallies for the Wolverines.
The 2-0 pitch misses high and outside. Again, Kaneki behind a Michigan hitter, 3-0 this time on the lefty Susala. And it seems like most everybody in this Michigan lineup got theirs over the course of that Big Ten tournament.
Well, it's hard not to when you bat around 3 times in half an inning.
That was a wild one. The 3-0 pitch misses off the plate outside. The catcher Hill held it there for an extra beat. Could not convince home plate up Matt Johnson. Susala down to first base, and the base is now loaded for the catcher Lauren Sweet.
This is going to be a meeting, it looks like, already with Kaneki on the circle for the Grizzlies. Finding herself in a sticky situation here with the bases juiced, 3 ducks on the pond, as some might say, with just 1 out. And all it'll take is a nice fly ball for Sweet to allow Sierra Lawrence to tag up with that speed on third base.
The wind not very strong, not overpowering, but blowing slightly out towards center field right now, according to the American flag beyond the fence. The first pitch to Sweet. That'll be over the plate for a called strike at the knees. Looked like it got a good part of home plate. Kaneki bouncing back and getting ahead of Sweet with that one. Infield is in for the Grizzlies. Outfield at normal depth. The 0-1 pitch, swinging a ground ball, hit hard, but foul down the left field line. Sweet tardy on that swing, and now is behind in the count, 0-2.
Just a bit tardy. Towed that one. That one towed the line down third base right until it took one little cut bounce to the left of third base and enough to carry it foul. Would have spelled big trouble had that one been straightened out just an inch or 2 more.
The third baseman, Muron, playing very close to the line for the Grizzlies. The 0-2 pitch to Sweet, breaking ball, popped up foul down the left field line. That one is tailing, and a diving catch by the left fielder Johnson. Tagging up and scoring from third is Sierra Lawrence, but that was an incredible effort by Courtney Johnson to retire Lawrence Sweet. A run scores for the Wolverines. What a play.
Well, that's one of the most athletic plays we've seen so far this season, and they call that one a web gem, I believe, Mo.
Oh, man, you are going to see that one on ESPN on all the highlight networks later, you would think. Spread eagle parallel to the ground, just snagged that a couple inches before it dropped in foul territory, which would have allowed Sweet to extend the at-bat. They appeal over to third to see if Lawrence did, in fact, remain on the base before tagging up. She did. So the run still counts for the Wolverines. Now with 2 on and 2 out, that'll bring Lindsay Montemurano to the plate.
Montemurano was the alpha and omega of that big 13-run second inning against Penn State the other day.
She'll take the first pitch off the plate outside. A lot of juice on that fastball to the right hand of Erin Kanacki.
Started it off with a big double to dead center field that bounced off of the wall. The Wolverines proceeded to bat around right until her third at bat.
The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball, misses high.
And then it was an easy ground out to the end of that one. But Montemurano, again, a big rally starter for the Wolverines, and they've already got something going here. She just looks to extend that theme.
Kanacki winds the 2-0 pitch. Fastball just misses low. They're not really sure where that one missed. Looked like a good pitch. The count now 3-0 on the third baseman, Montemurano, who is no stranger to the free pass herself.
Looked pretty good to me as well, but obviously she's not going to be swinging here on 3-0.
Montemurano to the back of the batter's box, takes a pitch right down Broadway for strike one. The count 3-1 on Montemurano. Romero on second base. Susala on first base. 2 on and 2 outs for the Wolverines. Kanacki looks in, gets the sign. The 3-1 pitch to Montemurano. And she takes it on the outside corner for strike 2. Ready to toss her bat back to that third base dugout and trot down to first, but home plate up Matt Johnson says that she must remain in the batter's box for a little longer.
Well-placed pitch there again from Kanacki, keeping it on the outside part of the plate as she needs to do.
The full count pitch, swinging a ground ball, fielded over at first base by Sarah Cup. That one inches from going foul, but it will be the final out of the inning as Cup steps on first base. The Wolverines threaten for more, but they do record 1 run, taking a 1-0 lead into the top half of the second inning. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball.
Well, you got to think of that if you're Coach Carol Hutchins for the Wolverines as a half inning with some missed opportunities. They had bases loaded with 1 out, and that foul ball and a gem of a catch over in the third base foul territory area really spoiled what was shaping up to be another big inning for the Wolverines. And when you're going to be playing regionals and you hope to be playing into super regionals in the College World Series, you got to be as adept as you can at not spoiling good opportunities, because when you start to get into tougher competition later on, those start to become fewer and farther between. And a learning inning, I'm guessing, for the Wolverines here is they're expected to blow through this game fairly easily.
Yeah, and I don't think we've seen much to indicate anything to the otherwise. It was a potential for the big inning there for the Wolverines, but, you know, Lauren Sweet just hit it in the wrong place, and Courtney Johnson with one of the best defensive plays that we have seen. Over across us on Ray Fisher, the Michigan baseball team is taking on the Oklahoma State. What are they? Are the Cowboys?
Are they?
I don't know.
Who
they're
knows?
taking on Oklahoma State in baseball. Not that it matters.
Barry Sanders went there.
Yeah, they're taking on Oklahoma State in baseball right now, the second game of a 3-game series. You can tune over to our other YouTube channel if you're interested in that game. We actually are having one of our first ever 3-person broadcasts, but I don't really see why you would listen to that when you got super regionals on right here. As bets
Just a regular regional. It's not super
Sorry,
yet.
Not super regionals yet. I mean, they're super to me. But Betts are ready to step back on the rubber for the second inning. Mowed down the first 3. Well, I guess didn't mow them down, but didn't have any trouble with the first 3 hitters she saw. Now she'll face Cup, Johnson, and Lauren Mead.
Quick note on the first game of the afternoon. The Cal Golden Bears did defeat the Pitt Panthers by run rule in 5 innings, 11-3, which means the winner of this game will play Cal tomorrow. Loser will play Pitt. It is double elimination here at the regional, so Michigan hoping that they face Cal tomorrow afternoon, but the loser game will take place as well tomorrow afternoon, and then as need be and as the schedule will play out, there will be games on Sunday as well.
Yeah, the Cal Golden Bears, probably the most formidable opponent the Wolverines are going to face in this tournament. Coming out of a stacked Pac-12 conference, tomorrow's game we will I think we'll have that one covered for you as well, so be sure to tune in.
You bet your sweet buns will have that one covered, Mel.
Oh, man. That's ready to step back onto the rubber. I didn't think my buns were that sweet. Stepping into the lefty batter's box, Sarah Cupp hitting 382 on the year for the Grizzlies. 9 home runs and 43 RBI to go with that. The first pitch from Betza, breaking ball, misses in the dirt for ball 1. Sweet got down there to block it.
Betza looking to pick up where she left off in the first inning, striking out the first 2, and then a 1-pitch fly out to Sarah Hartley to end that first inning quickly for her.
The 1-0 pitch misses high with a fastball there. Cupp ahead in the count 2-0. And she is a power threat. And perhaps the one bugaboo Megan Betza has had on this year is giving up solo home runs. When you throw that hard, doesn't take much contact to drive it out of the park. Betza looks in, gets the sign. The 2-0 pitch to Cupp. Breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. Vicious backdoor breaking ball there. Almost unfair from Betza.
And the reason that she's given up mostly solo home runs is just because she's been so darn good that nobody's been able to get on the bases against her. Like we said, opponents only hitting 162.
Betza winds. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and missed. Up and outside with that fastball. Sarah Cupp tried to climb the ladder with her and could not keep up. Now the count is 2-2. Betza working quickly, gets the sign, winds. The 2-2 pitch to Cupp. Swing and a miss on a fastball at her head. Betza goes way up in the zone. Sarah Cupp goes with her, and as a result, she is heading back to the bench with another strikeout.
Well, that's the makings of great pitching there. You fall behind in the count 2-0, works herself back with 2 solid pitches to make it 2-2, and as we know, Megan Betza loves to do, climbs that ladder and catches Cupp chasing.
That'll bring up Courtney Johnson, the defensive hero for the Grizzlies. She takes the first pitch right down the heart of the plate for strike 1. Overpowering stuff there from Betza with the fastball.
Courtney Johnson still a solid hitter, hitting 370 on the season in 42 appearances with 7 home runs and 30 RBI.
The 0-1 pitch from Betza just misses off the outside edge with that one. Lauren Sweet tried to frame it, unsuccessful. The count now 1-1 on Johnson.
Sweet holding that one for an extra beat. It seems as though home plate umpire Matt Johnson's been a little delayed on some of these calls tonight.
The 1-1 pitch from Betza, a bunt attempt, popped up. Sweet camps under it and makes the catch behind home plate. A failed bunt attempt there for Courtney Johnson is the second out in the top of the second inning for the Oakland Grizzlies.
Well, if that bunt in the first inning from Sierra Romero was as good of a bunt as you'll find, that last bunt there from Courtney Johnson's about as poorly executed as you'll find. Popped it right back to Sweet behind home plate for the easy out.
And that'll bring up Lauren Mead, the sophomore right fielder for the Grizzlies. The first pitch from Betza just misses off the plate outside for ball 1. Mead hitting 173 on the year, has appeared in 48 of Oakland's 49 games, but has only started 29. The 1-0 pitch now from Betza, in there for a called strike about belt high.
Well, we definitely do hear a lot of Michigan fans here this evening, but just a short trip down I-94, the Oakland Grizzly fan base has made a good appearance down on the first base line as well.
The 1-1 pitch, another called strike with the fastball there. Mead flinched out of the way, but that one caught the inner edge. The count now 1-2.
And it's pretty impressive when you're able to register when the Oakland fans want a called strike or not over the sound of these Michigan fans.
The 1-2 pitch just misses low with that one. That one low and outside. Tried to get Mead to fish for that one. Did not chase. The count 2-2 with 2 outs.
That's the beauty if you're Megan Betza. You can get people to chase all day if you want to because you know you can fall back on that heater if need be.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Mead down on strikes. The Grizzlies down in the top of the second inning. We head to the bottom half of the second with the Wolverines leading the Grizzlies 1-0 here at Alumni Field. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball.
Talk about falling back on the heater. How about that? That's all season long we've seen opposing hitters struggle to catch up to the speed that Megan Betza brings when she's in the circle for the Wolverines. We know that she also has good off-speed stuff, but one of the best fastballs that you will see in all of college softball, and that is why she is your Big Ten pitcher of the year.
Yeah, it really is such a difficult task for a hitter to hit against Megan Betza, especially when those pitches with overpowering velocity can rise or drop at the last second. She spots them very well. More often than not, she spots them up in the zone, which is an area where a pitcher can get burned if her stuff is not exactly grade A, but her stuff has been grade A for the majority of this season. Hitters have not caught up to her, and Michigan has reaped the benefits.
Unlike my grades, Betts' grade is A plus plus if you want to go as far as that, but she's definitely one of the main reasons that the Wolverines walk into this one with a 51-6 record and are the number 3 ranked team in the country as they look to make a deep run down to Oklahoma City over the course of the end of May here. And again, if the Wolverines are to advance out of this Ann Arbor regional, they would host the winner of the Athens, Georgia regional, and if seeding holds, that would be the Georgia Bulldogs themselves. Winner of that super regional is a best of 3, and the winner of the super regional would head and punch their ticket to Oklahoma City for the College World Series.
The Wolverines, their list of accomplishments runs very long this year, but you got to imagine that has been their vision all year. This team has appeared to be NCAA championship bound, I'd say, for most of the second half, at least bound for the super regionals, if nothing else. But the Nebraska radio guy sitting right next to us was so overwhelmed by how easy the Wolverines made it look running through a pretty good Big Ten conference. The Wolverines hoping to carry some of that mojo through against the Grizzlies, against the Cal Golden Bears, and against whoever may wait beyond this regional.
Well, he turned over and looked at us after the Wolverines recorded that last out of the championship game to take home the trophy in that Big Ten tournament. He looked at you and I, Morris, and he said, that's scary how easy this was for them. 2 run rule games and a fairly breezy game against the Cornhuskers, and the Wolverines drove into Columbus and drove out just as easily with hardware in hand.
They made it their own. Leading off is Aiden Falk, the lefty. She takes the first pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Falk, the freshman, hitting .328 on the year, had a pretty good series this weekend in Columbus. Kanaki winds the 0-1 pitch, off speed, ripped to the right side on a couple hops, but fielded by Kisman. She tosses over to first to Cup. 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines. A ground out to second for Aiden Falk.
Well, you could tell when she hit that one, she wasn't too happy with the contact that she made, but again, this is the first time around in the order against Kanaki, and the Wolverines are still attempting to get a feel for the pitching that she's bringing to the plate this evening and expect them to get some more solid contact if they see her a second time around.
Second time around the order is where the Wolverines do a lot of their damage. Now hitting, Tara Blanco takes the first pitch, a breaking ball off the plate outside for ball 1.
I still am mad at Tara Blanco for leaving that line drive just over the center field wall when we were broadcasting last weekend. Made me think she was going to fly out or maybe double and snuck over the fence.
The 1-0 pitch misses off the plate, low and away, and yet it's not easy making home run calls when you don't know whether the ball is going to leave the yard. You don't want to mislead your audience. We count 2-0 on Blanco now. The 2-0 pitch, fastball right down the heart of the plate, maybe on the inside half for strike 1. That one about belt high. Blanco let it go by.
Speaking of her power numbers, Tara Blanco coming in today with 7 home runs, and she's batted in 44 for the Wolverines in a lineup that just doesn't quit.
The 2-1 pitch, breaking ball called strike. Count now 2-2 on Blanco.
And they just don't quit in the fact that a lot of teams, you look at Oakland, and you can see the heart of their order is their power hitting, and the Wolverines just extend 1 through 9 all the way down the list.
2-2 pitch, fastball just misses off the outside corner. The count moves full on Blanco.
That was a well-placed pitch from Kanaki, just not getting the call on the outside. She's, again, really, really working hard on the outside part of the plate, and the Wolverines know that, and they're waiting on it.
The payoff pitch, swinging a foul ball off of the foot of Tara Blanco in the box. She keeps the at-bat alive there. That's something Michigan excelled at points over the weekend in Columbus.
I think we boiled it down to calling it a science, and I think we said Aiden Falk was the PhD.
Something like that. The 3-2 pitch misses low and outside. Blanco down to first base with a 1-out walk. I believe it was Lauren Sweet who perfected the science, and Lindsey Montemurano.
Was it Sweet?
Yeah, Sweet was the first one. She had some very long at-bats on the weekend. Montemurano also knows how to work a count. Abby Ramirez will step up to the plate now for the Wolverines. The outfield shading in on the lefty for the Wolverines. The second baseman, Kisman, playing right next to the mound. First pitch to Ramirez misses low and outside for ball 1, and I think that's the first time I've seen that sort of shift. Jackie Kisman standing about 3 steps to the left of Aaron Kanaki.
Their scouting report must talk about how Ramirez likes to hit that one up the middle, not leaving her a gap to do so.
The 1-0 pitch misses off the plate outside, and They're going to have to throw her a strike if she's going to hit it anywhere whatsoever. The defensive shifts, not too effective when you're putting batters on base. 2-0 the count on Ramirez. Blanco waiting down at first base. The 2-0 pitch misses low for ball 3.
Well, we talk about how the Wolverines have this lineup that just doesn't quit, and you wouldn't expect Abby Ramirez with her small stature and not necessarily a big power hitter, but she flicked 2 over the fence late in the season, and just goes to show that everyone's got a little power on this squad.
3-0 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner. Yeah, I think those two came in a weekend series against Rutgers. I think every game there was a run rule victory for the Wolverines.
Pretty rare to see your 9-hitter hitting .364.
The 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss by Ramirez. A throw down to first base, and Blanco is back in standing up. The catcher, Lindsey Hill, tried to catch Blanco with too big of a secondary lead, but Blanco dutiful getting back. The count now 3-2 on Ramirez with 1 out. Kaneki winds. The pitch just misses off the outside corner. Some Grizzlies fans here down the first base line throw up their hands in disbelief. But now with 2 on and 1 out, that'll bring up the top of the order in Sierra Lawrence.
Well, at least we've seen home plate umpire Matt Johnson be consistent in the fact that he is maintaining a relatively small strike zone here tonight. We've seen a lot of well-placed pitches from Kaneki and a few from Betsa. She hasn't thrown nearly as many, but still a good amount of close pitches that just haven't been called strikes. And she's going to have to start to work her way a little bit more inside if she wants to get some of those called strikes.
And it looks like we are going to see a pinch runner down at second base.
I believe it's going to be Nikki Wald.
Nikki Wald, number 8, pinch running for Tara Blanco. One of the 3 pinch runners Michigan likes to deploy. So Wald down on second base. Ramirez on first. Lawrence in the batter's box. She singled up the middle. A diving stop by Kisman could not keep her off of the bases in her first at-bat. Lawrence with that wide, low stance in the box, ready to unload. Kaneki winds the first pitch, misses low and away for ball 1.
Normally we do see either Nikki Wald or Olivia Rishvalski or sometimes even Mary Sabonik come into pinch run, and look for Coach Carol Hutchins to work around some of these substitutions today.
The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball in there for a called strike on the outside corner. The count now 1-1 on Lawrence.
And a lot of these pinch runners just trying to keep everybody fresh. It could potentially be a long weekend for the Wolverines, and you want to keep everybody healthy and as warmed up as possible.
Kaneki winds the 1-1 pitch, misses low and away with a hard breaking ball there. The count now 2-1 on Lawrence. Lawrence with devastating power to all fields, especially to the pole side, though. The left fielder Johnson shading her toward the line out and left. The 2-1 pitch is swung and grounded foul down the third base line. Morgan Muron, the third baseman, stopped that in foul territory, returned it to her pitcher. The count now 2-2 on Sierra Lawrence.
St. Muron play very close to that third base line at the hot corner, as they call it, and we saw a lot of Wolverines rip, whatever you want to call it, a few down that third base line last weekend.
The 2-2 pitch grounded hard to Kisman, turns, throws to second, throws it away. It bounced to the left of the shortstop Hartley, who had no chance at it. Scoring on the play from second base is Nikki Wald. Over to second goes Ramirez. Lawrence at first base. That's going to go down as a throwing error by the second baseman Kisman, going for a quick double play, but messed up the first part of it. In Michigan still with 2 on and 1 out.
Instead of taking the for sure out, Kisman went for glory. It was going to be a hard out to get Ramirez at second base, but that ball actually looked like it bounced off of Ramirez's right thigh into left field, and the Grizzlies have no outs to show for any of that effort.
And Romero swings the first pitch, hits one high into right field, but that one will settle into the glove of the right fielder, Lauren Mead. Tagging from second and moving to third on the play is Abby Ramirez. And you heard a bit of a gasp from the crowd as soon as that ball took flight. They expect big-time power off the bat of Romero. That time she didn't get all of it, and Mead made a basket catch, almost misjudging that one down the right field line.
Didn't get all of it, but just a little bit too much hang time to make it even an extra base hit.
That'll bring up Kelly Christner. Christner struck out in her first at-bat for the Wolverines. She has runners at the corners with 2 outs. Sierra Lawrence on first base, definitely a threat to steal in this situation. Ramirez awaits down at third. First pitch by Kaneki, misses high with a breaking ball. Lawrence stays on first base. Outfield shaded deep on Christner. Plenty of space in the gaps, though. Christner with a wide open stance in that lefty batter's box. 0-1 pitch, swinging a rocket toward the Wolverines dugout, bouncing off the screen and into that dugout. Foul ball makes the count 1-1.
Good thing all of the Wolverines, whether they're playing in the field or not, have those cat-like reflexes to avoid that one as it headed right for the heads of a few of them.
And that stems all the way from the coach, Carol Hutchins, who's always ready to get out of the way down that third baseline. The 1-1 pitch misses off the plate, low and outside. Lawrence scampers down to second base without a throw. A delayed steal, but the catcher, Lindsey Hill, not interested. The count now 2-1 on Christner. Konecki looks in, winds, and delivers. Christner swings and hits a soft ground ball up the middle, fielded by Kinsman. She throws over to first and gets Christner by a step, so the Wolverines tally another run on the error, but again leave some runners on base. We head to the top of the third inning with the Wolverines leading the Grizzlies 2-0 here at Alumni Field.
Well, again, Kisman really did cause the Wolverines, or gave the Wolverines that other run in the inning. She went for the inning-ending double play instead of just going for the for sure second out, and the inning would have been over on the Sierra Romero flyout had she not decided to go for the difficult double play, and that's what errors do to you. They kill you, and we've seen Wolverine opponents do that all season long and really just hand runs over.
Yeah, it really is the difference between good teams and great teams. And we saw last week, I think the only error we might have seen for the Wolverines was Abby Ramirez flubbing one over at short on what probably would have been an infield single anyway. But then she made up for it, making play after play deep into the hole between short and third. She's got an incredible arm and just a part of this defense for the Wolverines that held, I believe, two players in first team all defense, in Kelly Christner in left field, and then I think the pitcher Haley Wagner also.
Well, she's got the arm and she's got the range, and like you said, I think we saw her turn around from that small mishap at short, and I think she proceeded to make the next 4 outs of the game defensively on her own, really just proving that that was in fact a flub and not anything that's really even remotely close to normal for Abby Ramirez.
Yeah, that infield and that outfield have all been solid for the Wolverines. And, you know, this is a team that's had every aspect of their game clicking in their recent win streak. And it all boils down, though, to the pitches they have on the mound, and they performed along with their season-long stats and expectations over that weekend in Columbus. Megan Betza threw 10 innings, gave up 1 run. That one on a solo home run by Penn State catcher Alyssa Vanderveer, who, although her team did lose 16-1, can at least take home the fact that she hit a long ball off of the Big Ten's premier pitcher, Haley Wagner, in the championship game against Nebraska. Threw a complete 7-inning game, giving up 1 run in the 7th, but mowing down the Nebraska lineup with ease.
Well, Morris, I got to tell you, I've seen the Wolverines look poorly on only 2 occasions this whole season out of those 6 losses, and 4 of them were good losses to very good teams, in my opinion, and I think the only 2 that were maybe not the best of losses, and maybe even the Minnesota one was debatable, but the loss against Minnesota, in which they were run-ruled, proceeded to run-rule them the following day, but they couldn't hit the ball in that game. They were swinging on a lot of first pitches, and we saw the same thing again on a Sunday afternoon game here against the Iowa Hawkeyes at home, their only home loss on the season. It was snowing that day, but again, the consistency between those 2 games was the fact that they were swinging on the early pitches and the fact that the pitching was leaving a couple too many balls over the plate and allowing some dangerous hitters to make their way through the order and really do some damage on the Wolverines. But those, in my opinion, the only 2 bad losses I've seen out of them all season.
The leadoff hitter for the Oakland Grizzlies, Laura Pond, takes the ball behind the zone. And I'd say that the one loss you're overlooking perhaps is a loss here at the Will Pond Complex to Kent State.
Ooh.
Their other home loss on the year. That was perhaps a galvanizing force for this season as Pond swings and foul tips one into the glove of Sweet. The count now 1-1.
That's why I didn't remember. All the way back in March. It's been a long season.
It has been a long season and a successful one for the most part for the Wolverines. The 1-1 pitch from Betza, swinging a high fly ball deep into right field. That's a home run way up into the right field bleachers. Home runs the bugaboo for Megan Betza. Gave one up there. A no-doubter to right field off the bat of Laura Pond.
Laura Pond's first home run of the season was absolutely a no-doubter into the full grandstands out in right field here at Alumni Field. And we talked about it earlier. Every once in a while, Megan Betza will leave a very meaty pitch over the plate, and Laura Pond saw it coming all the way and just gave that one a ride. And the Oakland Golden Grizzlies find themselves right back in this game, only down a run.
Betza perfect until that point for the Wolverines, but now in the top half of the third, the lead for the Wolverines cut in half with that solo shot. A brief conference in the pitching circle with all of her infielders as Betza back on the rubber and ready to forget that and put it all behind her. The first pitch to the catcher, Lindsey Hill, is, I guess, a bit outside for ball one. Not sure where that one missed.
Again, that one pretty well over the plate from what we could tell, but Matt Johnson proving that his strike zone is getting smaller and smaller.
The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball in the dirt low. The throw back from Sweet skitters into center field. A bit of a cluster of, I guess, mistakes for the Wolverines. The count out 2-0 on Lindsey Hill. Hill, the catcher, hitting .222 on the year. And Laura Pond had a 130 average going into this game before that big fly.
130 and no home runs before that.
The 2-0 pitch on the inside corner for strike one. Betza rebounds with a good fastball there.
But that effort from Laura Pond, if you're the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, is what's going to keep you in contention with the Wolverines here tonight. Showing up when they need you the most.
The 2-1 pitch just misses off the inside half of the plate. That one, ball three on the catcher, Lindsey Hill. Hill has appeared in 29 games for Oakland, but has only started in 6. Her stats, not exactly prodigious. The 3-1 pitch now from Betza. Swing and a miss. That one foul tip into the glove of Sweet. In on the hands of Hill. She could not get the barrel of the bat on that one. The count now full. Hill back into the box. Betza has her sign, working quickly. Winds and delivers the full count pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball up in the zone. Hill down on strikes. Betza rebounds after that home run. The first out of the third inning here for the Grizzlies.
We saw Megan Betza give up an early home run. I believe it was in the second inning against Penn State, because we were talking about winning innings after she gave up that solo shot. I can't remember who it was off of, or who.
Vanderveer. It was Vanderveer.
Vanderveer did hit that one, and we saw the Wolverines come back in the bottom of that inning and score 13. So
that'll bring up Marina Salinas. She takes the first pitch off the plate away for ball one. And yeah, the Wolverines, it seems that every time they give up a run in the top half of an inning, they will respond in that next inning with an offensive showcase. We'll see if the same happens here. The 1-0 pitch from Betza, breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner at the knees. Good backdoor breaking ball there. And Salinas doesn't really look ready to hit in that lefty batter's box. A tall, relaxed stance with her feet close together in the back of the batter's box. Salinas hitting .234 on the year. The 1-1 pitch, check swing, pitch high in the zone. Didn't look like she went. They'll appeal on the third base, and Laura Head confirms that she did not go. The count now 2-1 on Salinas.
Bit of a new umping crew here tonight, but Laura Head's been the umpire in pretty much every Wolverines game we've seen this season. Consistent, and the players like her.
The 2-1 pitch from Betza, breaking ball misses low. The count now 3-1 on Salinas.
That's perhaps just a little bit shaky after giving up the home run to Pond, and we know what she does when she starts to fall behind like this. Comes back with the heat, well placed, maybe tries to climb the ladder.
That's the 3-1 pitch. Misses high with the fastball there, and Salinas trots down to first base with a 1-out walk, and that'll bring the top of the lineup back around for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies.
Came back with the heat and did try and go high with it, and just not able to draw a bite, and looking a little bit uncomfortable, but still has time and options.
Outfield shifts in on the lefty Kisman, who struck out in her first at-bat. Betza going to 3-ball counts on the last 2 hitters. Walked Salinas. Now the first pitch to Kisman misses low for ball 1.
Betza just needs to settle down and find the strike zone here, throw a couple in a good spot. Struggling with her command since giving up the home run.
Betza winds the 1-0 pitch to Kisman. Bunted, foul toward the Michigan dugout. It'll be picked up by Montemurano. And Kisman squared to bunt the first time around, squared to bunt that time. Let one go, and that one into foul ground. And looks like we're going to have another conference on the mound. That'll be assistant coach, I think Amanda Brundage, talking to her pitcher, Megan Betza.
Probably the same thing that we just mentioned. Couple words, just try and find the strike zone, take it easy. That's not used to giving up runs, period, let alone a solo shot home run to somebody who was only hitting $130 with no home runs coming into the game. And
that was my mistake. Sorry, it's Jennifer Brundage, but you go on.
Perhaps a little bit uneasy, but again, she knows she's got one of the most dangerous offensive lineups behind her, and she's got support. Still working with a one-run lead at this point.
Perhaps they're also going over the defensive game plan for this bunt that Kisman seems intent on laying down. The count.
See if she goes for it again here.
1-1 pitch from Betza. She squares and pulls back on that one, and it's a called strike on the outside corner. Betza ahead in the count now, 1-2 on Kisman.
Good pitch there to avoid the bat of Kisman and still keep it in the strike zone.
Dark clouds looking to overtake this sky over Alumni Field. The 1-2 pitch from Betza, swing and a tapper foul when ricocheted off of Kisman and bounced out in front of home plate. That one a breaking ball had Kisman all sorts of out in front, but Kisman able to keep that at bat alive.
Right off the upper thigh of her inside leg. Looks like she's going to work it out, but always careful to put too much weight on it after you give yourself a good knock like that.
The count's still 1-2 on the senior second baseman for the Grizzlies. The 1-2 pitch misses high with the fastball there, trying to get Kisman to chase out of the zone. No dice. The count now 2-2. Infield shaded about even with the baselines up the middle, the corners, several steps in for the Wolverines. The outfield also in. The 2-2 pitch now to Kisman. Swing and a miss. Fastball on the outer edge. Kisman could not catch up. Her second strikeout of the game and the second out of the inning for the Wolverines.
There's Megan Betza getting back to work, getting a little confidence under her feet again. Not used to giving up runs of any kind, and took her time, and I think that circle visit really gave her the confidence she needed to try and find that strike zone, and found her way back and struck out Kisman there.
First pitch now to Morgan Muron, misses high and outside for ball one. Muron also struck out in her first at bat, struck out looking and was halfway down the first baseline before she realized she had been punched out. Betza winds. The 1-0 pitch to the righty Muron. In there for a called strike on the outside corner.
Morris, I was just observing. I'm not sure if you call this a sellout. It looks like there may be approximately 1 or 2 empty seats, but everything is pretty much packed in now here at Alumni Field, and they're anxious to see the Wolverines perform well here.
The 1-1 pitch from Betza, swing and a miss. Fastball up in the zone. Muron could not catch up. The count now 1-2 on the righty third baseman for Oakland. And not only have they packed the stands, but they are packed in all the way down the third base line. Everyone trying to get a glimpse of this softball team. The 1-2 pitch from Megan Betza. Swing and a miss. Muron down on strikes. And that will do it for the Grizzlies in the top half of the third inning. We head to the bottom of the third after Laura Pond gives them 1 run back, but Michigan still leads 2-1 here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
Well, Morris, I'll give you a quote that head coach Carol Hutchins had after that Big Ten tournament. She was quoted as saying, "I like the swag that this team has." And it takes a lot of swag as a pitcher to come back after giving up that solo shot home run, something you're not used to doing at all, and showed a little bit of shakiness coming out of it and had a quick talk and brought herself back and struck out 2 in a row to get herself out of what was probably about as tough an inning as Megan Betza has had all season. Really just hasn't encountered a whole lot of resistance, mowing down everything in her path.
Not a lot of base runners on base for Betza this season, but once she has put them on, she has worked out of them. Her ERA belies that fact. 144 in the year. She's 26-4. Some cartoonish stats that are also echoed in the stats of Haley Wagner, who will no doubt be ready out of the bullpen if Betza should fall into any serious trouble.
Yeah, and it's a blessing to have 2 fantastic pitchers. It's rare to see a pitcher with a sub-2 ERA on any team. And when the Wolverines have 2 pitchers under 2 in the range of 1.4 to 1.7 anywhere over the course of the season, it's absolutely unbelievable. Haley Wagner has been the star of the staff in recent years, but Megan Betza really proving herself this year to be the go-to arm for Carol Hutchins and the Wolverines.
Yeah, a bit of an embarrassment of riches for this Michigan softball team, and the pitching that they have, the defense they have, and of course the offense that seems to put up all kinds of crazy numbers throughout the course of the year. Speaking of that offense, leading off the inning for the Wolverines will be Kelsey Susella. After her will come Lauren Sweet and Lindsay Montemorano. This Michigan team has had plenty of base runners on base. They have 2 hits and a couple walks over 2 innings, but they have not been able to really break this game open.
Not yet, and they're coming around their second time in the order now. Look for them to put a little bit better contact on these pitches from Kanaki as they start to get a better idea of how she throws. The Wolverines have not been a big early offense team. They've definitely taken to doing more of their damage in anywhere from the second to the fourth innings.
And this is right in the middle of that zone, so we will see if the Wolverines can still drive home some more runs, maybe drive home the dagger into Erin Kanaki's outing. But thus far, she has been able to work her way out of some jams. The clouds looking a bit more ominous here over Alumni Field. There is a chance of rain later on tonight, but I think we should avoid it for this one. The first pitch to Sala, a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike one. Good location there by Kanaki.
I mentioned it briefly back in the last half inning, but we talk about winning innings. Softball is winning the whole inning, offensively and defensively, and the Wolverines are adept at doing so.
The 0-1 pitch, fastball just misses off the plate outside. The count even at 1-1 on Susala.
It seems as though every time they give up a run, they come back in the following half inning and at least even, if not, overcome that deficit.
The 1-1 pitch, Kanaki misses high with a breaking ball there. The count's 2-1, and Jeremy, you say that enough, you're going to jinx it.
Well, I've jinxed a lot of things, but I think this offense is nearly unjinxable. We've been saying it all season long, and they continue to prove themselves.
The 2-1 pitch to Susala. Fastball just misses off the plate. Low and away for ball three. And if you're watching this at home, folks, knock on some wood to make up for Jeremy Parks' reckless disregard for superstition. The count 3-1 on Susala. Kanaki winds. The pitch. Misses low and away for ball four. Susala trots down to first base with a leadoff walk for the Wolverines.
Not the most superstitious, and the Wolverines already getting the leadoff hitter on base with Susala. Things starting to shape up a little bit more in my favor and my blatant disregard, Morris.
Not a superstitious guy either, Jeremy, but when it comes to sports, comes to action on the diamond, you can never be too careful. Lauren Sweet, the lefty in the box for the Wolverines, squares the bunt on the first pitch, pulls back at a ball that misses low for ball one.
We've seen Coach Carol Hutchins as of late prefer the small ball method, bunting down, advancing the runner, and must have been in the scouting report for the Grizzlies as they were ready for it there.
The corners, several steps shaded in. I don't doubt that Sweet will again square the bunt. Kanaki winds. Sweet swings and fouls one back to the screen. I guess I was 0 for 1 on predictions right there. The count now 1-1 on the catcher, Sweet.
Well, Susala not working with the best of speed, still coming off of that leg injury, so maybe deciding not to push it too hard if the Grizzlies are already expecting the bunt.
A little surprised to see Sweet change it up mid-at-bat. Now she bunts one down on the 1-1 pitch, and it's fielded by the third baseman, Miron. She has no play. Kisman late getting to the bag at first base. A base hit bunt there for Lauren Sweet. Perhaps sowed the seeds of doubt in the minds of the Oakland defense, and they were not ready for that one. 2 on and no outs for the Wolverines. That brings up Montemurano.
Well, it looked to me as though Miron was going to have a play as Kisman did get over to first base in time, but she sort of pump faked as Sweet was about halfway down the first base line and decided not to throw, then looked back to Susala sliding into second, and by the time she had hesitated, it was already too late.
Montemurano up at the plate now, walked, I believe, in her last plate appearance. The first pitch she sees, misses off the plate out. Oh, no, it caught the outside corner for strike one. Home plate on Matt Johnson. Another delayed call there, and Montemurano behind in the count, 0-1.
Montemurano doesn't hit as consistently as a lot of hitters in the Wolverines lineup, but seems to have a knack for getting hits in big situations.
The 0-1 pitch, squares, bunts it down, and it hit her, I believe, while she was still in the batter's box. That one bounced right in front of the plate and hit Montemurano in the knee. So she is not out on the play, but it will be a foul ball. The count now 0-2 on the Michigan third baseman.
Had it not hit her on the knee, it would have been a good bunt, would have at least advanced the runners to second and third. But it had a wicked tailspin that came back and got her on that outside knee, I believe.
0-2 count. She's got to protect the plate. The 0-2 pitch, swinging a line drive into right center field. That one's going to bounce down for a base hit. Ricochets off the glove of the right fielder, Mead, into the gap. Scoring from second base is Susela. Pulling into third base is Sweet. Maybe a single with an error, maybe a double there, but a rocket off the bat of Lindsey Montemurano gives the Wolverines a run and brings their lead back to 2. They lead the Grizzlies 3-1 right now.
Blatant disregard. They come back, do exactly what we know they're capable of, and they tie tie the inning per se, as they get their first run of the inning. And like we said too, Lindsay Montemurano seems to have a knack for getting the big hits when the Wolverines need them the most. And as she stands on second base, she sprinkles the cheese on the pizza. The theme for the Wolverines this season, every time something big happens, they like to sprinkle the cheese on that pizza.
Yeah, sprinkle the cheese, the pepperoni, eat the pizza if they go yard. Now 2 on and no out for Aiden Falk with runners on second and third. The first pitch from Kanaki misses off the plate outside with the breaking ball. The infield is in for the Grizzlies as the count is 1-0 on Aiden Falk. Falk 0 for 1 on today's game.
And that Montemurano hit was ruled a single with an error.
The 1-0 pitch misses low with a hard fastball. Kanaki behind in the count now. 2-0 on Falk. Has first base open with Tara Blanco waiting on deck.
I have a hard time arguing with them calling it an error, but at the same time, I think it would have been a difficult throw for Meade had she even controlled the ball properly in right field and had been able to make a throw to second base in time. I think it still would have been hard to catch Montemurano.
Yeah, I think that perhaps she could have caught Montemurano going to second base as that ball was hit very hard, but all of the other runners would have been in the same place. So it's not a very harmful error. And, a situation with runners on first and third, 1 out, or less than 2 outs, we've seen more often than not that they'll let runners take second base anyway. So regardless, not a very costly error, but one that, I don't even think they're going to put it as an error on the scoreboard. The error on the scoreboard right now.
Oh, was that the throwing error?
That was the throwing error by Kisman. So they're going to rule it a double for Lindsay Montemurano, and I think that's a fair ruling.
Excuse me.
The count 2-0 on Aiden Falk. Brief conference on the mound just ended for the Grizzlies. Kanaki looks in and delivers the 2-0 pitch. Falk swings and misses. Behind on that fastball. Now the count is 2-1.
Another quick circle meeting for Kanaki. Just some words to calm down. Again, finding herself in a spot of trouble here. She's given up runs in every half inning so far.
2-1 pitch. Fastball finds the outside corner for a called strike 2. Good location there by Kanaki, spotting that one at the knees. This would be a huge strikeout for the Golden Grizzlies.
Kanaki has been good at limiting the damage thus far.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Falk down on strikes. Kanaki with overpowering stuff there on the outer edge. Big out there for the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Now 1 out. Runners still on second and third for the Wolverines.
Like you said, a big out, but also this Wolverines lineup is dangerous at every hole, so...
Tara Blanco into that righty batter's box, has that open stance, sees the first pitch off the plate outside for ball 1. You can hear that pop of the glove, hopefully, over these speakers, and those are courtesy of ambient sounds from ESPN, who is also telecasting this game. The 1-0 pitch to Blanco. Breaking ball misses off the plate outside. The count out 2-0.
We really want to thank you for tuning in with us over ESPN. Gives us big flattery.
Yeah, ESPN also providing some top-notch replays on the video board. The 2-0 pitch to Blanco off her leg.
Caught her.
Yeah, that one misses inside for a hit by pitch. Blanco down the first base. The base is now juiced for Abby Ramirez.
Well, Morris, I'll tell you, right before that ball hit her on the leg, we heard probably the loudest Go Blue chants I've ever heard come out of Alumni Field. Sounds louder than probably a late-season Michigan Stadium this past football season. As these fans are enthusiastic for this team that is one of the best that Coach Carol Hutchins has ever had, and that's saying something with her storied 31-season career.
First pitch to Ramirez, a called strike on the outside corner. The infield shading in on the Michigan shortstop. The outfield playing rather deep, at least deep compared to where they would usually shade. The little lefty. The 0-1 pitch from Kanaki. Called strike on the outside corner. The count now 0-2.
Well, with runners on base, it appears as though Kisman will not take the same position she did last time on Ramirez, standing directly behind Kanaki at the circle.
The 0-2 pitch just misses low with a fastball there. That one maybe an inch below the knees of Ramirez, but maybe too close to take with 2 strikes.
The small strike zone continues to be a story throughout this game.
The 1-2 pitch from Kanaki misses high with the fastball there. The count even at 2-2. That one at about Ramirez's head level. She doesn't really like chasing balls high out of the zone. She's a disciplined hitter. Konecki winds. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a foul ball down the left field line. That one will bounce safely off of the screen and onto the dirt-colored turf down the left field line. It was a bit refreshing to play or to call games at Columbus Field or
Buckeye Field
in Columbus. Just because they did have that natural grass and dirt that I prefer. The count 2-2 on Ramirez. Konecki winds and delivers. Off-speed pitch just misses low, and the Oakland fans are just beside themselves at that one not a called strike 3. The count now full with nowhere to put Abby Ramirez.
There is a good amount or a good Oakland contingent in front of us.
The 3-2 pitch misses low. Ramirez trots down to first base with an RBI walk. Jeremy looking very satisfied with himself as Michigan has, quote-unquote, won the inning. Still threatening to do plenty more with the bases loaded and 1 out, and Sierra Lawrence at the dish.
For those of you listening at home without visuals, I am smugly smiling at Mo now with my blatant disregard for all things superstition.
The first pitch to Lawrence is a fastball in there for a called strike, slightly quieting this raucous crowd here at Alumni Field.
Learn soon, you will, young Padawan Mo, that this Michigan team defies superstition.
Shut up, Jeremy. The 0-1 pitch from Konecki. Misses off the edge for ball 1. The count now even at 1-1 with 1 out. Plenty of ones on the board as Oakland has 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Michigan with 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors. The 1-1 pitch from Konecki, swinging a hard ground ball down the left field line. That one foul. The count now 1-2 on the Michigan center fielder.
Not too inclined to give you any color now, Mo, after that pretty rude words there from you.
I'm sure you've heard worse, Jeremy, and you'll be able to get over it.
I know it's been a long season, but come on, man, we're partners.
The count 1-2 on Lawrence. The 1-2 pitch, and that one bounces off of Romero. She will jog gingerly down to first base. I think that one hit her in the knee.
Off of Lawrence.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It has been a long season.
Yes, it has been a long season. Lawrence, my mistake with the hit by pitch on a 1-2 count. Barely made any effort to get out of the way of that one. It plunked her right on the kneecap and bounced down. Bit of a loud pop there at the plate. Got to imagine Lawrence is feeling the pain. The hit by pitch scores a run.
Pitching change now for Oakland. It's going to be number 3, Haley Zemmer, into pitch for them. So far on the season, Zemmer coming in with a 2.70 ERA. She's 5-5 in 14 appearances. Opponents hitting a bit higher on her than Konecki. Konecki opponents were hitting 258 prior to this game. 267 opponent average for Zemmer as she trots out and takes her warm-up pitches, but seems to be relatively same or similar stat lines between her and Konecki.
And over on the Michigan bench, YMCA is playing over the loudspeakers. The dugout dancing with Tara Blanco, who's on third base right now. I think some of them were doing the Macarena, maybe have their 90s or 80s dances mixed up a little bit, but they're having fun there on the Michigan sideline, and all across the stadium fans are dancing to the chorus.
We've got village people everywhere here at Alumni Field.
I guess so. Fortunately, we don't have enough time for Jeremy to regale you with his own vocal rendition.
I think I see the construction worker down on the third base side. Looks like we have the Native American on first base side. We've got village people all over the place, Morris.
Enough of that, Jeremy. Up to the bat with the bases loaded, Sierra Romero hit a grand slam against the Nittany Lions off of the scoreboard in right center. Her power almost exclusively to center field and to the opposite field. But you got to imagine that scoreboard out and left is beckoning to her right now with the Wolverines with a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the third.
Well, the scoreboard at Buckeye Field was beckoning to her with that grand slam shot. In that, what was that the Northwestern game?
That was the
Penn State game?
That was the Penn State game.
Part of the 13-run blistering bottom of the second inning.
Yeah, the Penn State game, she hit one off the right center field scoreboard. In the Northwestern game, she hit one that barely cleared the center field fence. I think Blanco was more of a sure thing because that was the walk-off. And then in the Nebraska game, she also barely cleared the fence in right center field. Looking to do the same right now with the bases loaded. The infield is shaded about as in as they dare against the powerful righty. The first pitch from Konecki, lined into left field for a base hit. Scoring from third is Blanco. Rounding third, coming home is Ramirez. The throw home cut off. Ramirez slides past home plate, taps it with her left hand. A 2-run single for Romero. Lawrence stops at second base. Michigan leads this one 7-1 over the Golden Grizzlies.
Boy, what a big hit there yet again for Sierra Romero, proving late in the season to be one of the most dangerous bats. I see a Jets pizza box being held up behind home plate. The pizza coming into play again here for the Wolverines. And Sierra Romero continues to do what she does best, and that's score runs for the Wolverines.
Christner bunts at the first pitch and pops it foul. The scoreboard right now is, okay, they just changed it to a 7-1 lead. It was showing 6. They didn't record Ramirez's tally. Count 0-1 now on Christner with Lawrence and Romero on second and first respectively. The wind and the delivery. The 0-1 pitch catches the outside corner for a called strike.
Looks like across the yard from Alumni Field, Michigan baseball just had a nice throw out from center field on what looked like a base hit. The Oklahoma State sent their runner around third, but a nice play there.
0-2 pitch to Christner is grounded softly over to short. It's bobbled. The flip to second base is in time. Kisman was covering. Hartley just got the speedy Romero at second. The fielder's choice there is the second out of the inning for the Wolverines and for Haley Zemmer. Now with runners on first and third, that will bring up Kelsey Susella.
Close call there after the bobble, but first base umpire Eric Manley was right on top of it. Got her by, ooh, they just showed the replay on the board, and the fans here at Alumni Field not pleased.
Did they get her?
It looks close.
Well, it was called an out on the field, and that's how it's going to show up on the scoreboard. And in the grand scheme of things, you can argue if you want, but they're not going to reverse that one. Susala hitting with runners at the corners, led off this very inning with a walk. First pitch she sees from Zemmer, she swings on and lines back to the screen, a foul ball. And it looked like on first base, Kelly Christner was taking off for second. Zemmer looks out to her infielders and outfielders, perhaps just confirming what the action will be in case of a stolen base. Wind the 0-1 pitch, swinging a pop-up foul over the screen on the left side. Christner took a convincing secondary lead off second base. Not sure if she was taking off full speed, though. Maybe another delayed steal type of action designed to draw a throw and get Lawrence home from third.
Looks like Kisman and Zemmer are discussing yet again perhaps something thrown hard. Maybe they're suspecting that that Christner will head for second, give him enough time to get a throw down.
The 0-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen. Christner going on that pitch again. It was a breaking ball up in the zone. Susala defensively keeps the at-bat alive. And, you know, it's all a moot point if Susala can't deliver with a hit here.
Oh, good heads-up defensive mind, though, there with Kisman and Zemmer working together there to suspect that Christner was going.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a fastball up and out of the zone. Susala down on strikes, but not until after the Wolverines tally 5. They win the third inning and take a 7-1 lead in the top of the fourth here at Alumni Field. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan softball. Thank you for joining us.
Well, it's really just old hat for the Wolverines. Every time they give up a run recently, and for the most part all season long, they've come back in the following half inning and have just turned up the heat and started lacing the ball all over the place in a 5 spot following the solo home run for Pond back in the top of the third. Gives the Wolverines a 7-1 lead, and Megan Betza can rest easy again.
Yeah, Laura Pond with her 130 average, looking kind of like a small fish in a big pond, but certainly made her splash here at Alumni Field, depositing that one way beyond the right field fence. Michigan, however, responded in kind. Responded? Is that good enough?
Sure.
We're going to allow that one.
I'm more focused on the dance contest going down on the first base line right now. Some of the Wolverines players, I think I saw Tara Blanco drop the whip in support of her.
Of course. I think that we got plenty of happy contestants dancing here in the crowd, but I'd say the best dancers in the ballpark are out on the field right now. These softball players from team to team, they can get funky.
We've seen that a lot of softball teams throughout the country, we've been all over the Midwest and beyond following this team this season, and we've seen a lot of different teams that they play have their own quirky traditions. The Nebraska Cornhuskers brought out pink cowboy hats and inflatable crayons and anything they could do to maybe distract or encourage, whatever you want to decipher that as. But every team has their own niche, and these Wolverines like pizza and they like dancing.
Yeah, we've been across the Midwest. Perhaps a bit of an exaggeration. We've made one road trip in support of this team. That was, however, last weekend, and it is well within our collective memory. So if you want to use that kind of phrasing, then you're welcome to.
Well, maybe you were talking about traveling in physical terms, but I'm always with this team in spirit, Morris.
All right, Jeremy. Leading off the inning for Oakland will be the shortstop, Sarah Hartley. Hitting after her will be Sarah Cupp, and then Courtney Johnson.
Really playing the dry companion to my color today, Mo.
Oh man, Jeremy.
Not too much playing into it today.
It's just I feel how you feel when I'm dropping all kinds of witty word plays. It's just I don't know how to respond. You're just so overwhelming in your personality and your presence.
I'll take that as a compliment.
You can choose to.
Dry companion.
You can choose to take that as a compliment.
Well, I'll tell you what, that Northwestern game down in Columbus last weekend, you were something else on color.
Yeah.
I gave up around the 4th inning.
Got to give a shout out to Leah, the SID, for publicizing perhaps the best pun of the broadcast, utilizing the GEM in Megan Betts' first name, characterizing her outing as a gem. It sounded wittier at the time, trust me.
We've made gem, we've made beast, we've made several fun little anagrams out of Megan Betts' name.
Betts' first pitch over the plate for a called strike over the heart of the plate against Sarah Hartley. The righty shortstop 0 for 1 on the game. The 0-1 pitch now from Betsa. Misses high with a fastball, the count even at 1-1.
We also thank Leah for tweeting out the audio link to today's game in the event that you do not have ESPNU or you just enjoy listening to us, which is probably harder to believe.
The 1-1 pitch now to Hartley. In there for a called strike 2, a fastball at thigh high. Hartley let it go by. And yeah, the Michigan Athletic Department has been very supportive of us, not only in softball, but over the course of all sports here at the University of Michigan and at WCBN. The 1-2 pitch from Betts misses high with the fastball. The count now 2-2.
We do hope you enjoy listening to us. As always, if you are listening, feel free to interact with us at WCBN Sports on Twitter. Give us some funny jokes or maybe a shout out or two, and we'll be sure to answer you back as quickly as we can.
The 2-2 pitch from Betts, called strike 3 on the outside corner. The fastball left Sarah Hartley standing there like a house by the side of the road, and I feel almost shameful appropriating that famous Ernie Hartwell call, but it's just so appropriate.
It is pretty darn appropriate with the way that Megan Betts hurls that fastball.
On par with any pitcher in any, ball sport that we have seen.
Any ball sport.
The first pitch to Sarah Cupp misses off the plate outside. I'm referring to baseball and softball mostly, Jeremy.
Most sports do involve balls, Mo.
I could name plenty that don't, but I'll save it for later. The 1-0 pitch now to Sarah Cupp, the lefty. Misses high with the fastball. The count now 2-0 on Cupp.
The only one I can come up with, hockey puck.
Well, you're discounting ultimate frisbee.
It's not a sport. It's a hobby.
NASCAR. Oh, I'll stop with that one. That's
Morris, a huge ultimate frisbee player.
The 2-0 pitch to Cupp, swing and a miss on a fastball off the plate outside. The infield and outfield shading Cupp straight away. The wind's still not yet, or it has yet to become a factor in today's game. The lights on at Alumni Field, but the sun's still pretty high in the sky. The 2-1 pitch to Cupp. Breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner at the belt. She utilizes that breaking ball on the outside corner to lefties. The backdoor breaking ball with aplomb, spotting it very accurately. Almost never leaves it out over the plate. The count 2-2 on Cupp. Betsa winds and delivers. Check swing, and she went around. Strike 3 on a fastball up in the zone. 2 up, 2 down via the strikeout for the Oakland Grizzlies here in the top of the 4th inning. That'll bring up the left fielder, Courtney Johnson.
I just run out of things to say about Megan Betts and just how dominant her stuff has been all season long, and it just continues tonight. It's unreal.
The first pitch to the righty, Johnson, breaking ball in the dirt. Big swing and a miss by Johnson. Totally fooled, bamboozled by the breaking stuff of Megan Betsa.
Bamboozled indeed, as have most of these Oakland hitters with most of the pitches they've seen from Betsa tonight.
The 0-1 pitch now to Johnson. Swing and a miss on a fastball on the outer edge.
Ever since that solo home run from Laura Pond and then the walk to Lindsay Hill, it's been pretty smooth sailing again for Megan Betza, and just struggling to make contact even are these Oakland Grizzly hitters.
The 0-2 pitch to Johnson. Swinging a high fly ball foul down the left field line. That one going to bounce off of the batting cage.
The words of
beyond left field.
Chris Berman, the old moon ball.
That one about as high as the light towers we have around this field, but not even close to being straightened out. The count still 0-2. Betza has had some electric stuff in this inning, looking to bring down the Oakland Grizzlies, striking out the side. Needs one more pitch to do it. The 0-2 pitch now to Johnson. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball on the outside corner. Strike 3. Megan Betza sets down the side via the K, and the Wolverines will hit in the bottom of the 4th inning, still with a 7-1 lead over Oakland.
Electric stuff that inning, electric stuff this game, electric stuff this month, this season. Her whole life is about electricity. She is a spark plug in her own right, Megan Betza. And my goodness, Morris. Yeah, there's just, oh my gosh.
It defies adjectives. So we're going to try to come up with some verbs and nouns that will adequately convey it to you, but might be a little more difficult.
Well, she's a brick house. That's an adjective and a noun, really.
I fail to follow. Explain.
I don't know. Well, she's just strong. She is a solid foundation for this Wolverines team.
I think as far as metaphors go, you could have done a little better.
A little bit, but
one.
Spur of the moment. I've used so many to describe her this season. It just becomes hard to find more.
It looks like they're going to get the wave going in the crowd, and this one's going to make it all the way around to the right side. Jeremy Parks and some radio guys and TV guys to our right even getting in on that. That one made it into the right field bleachers. The most potent wave I have seen over the course of this season for this Michigan softball
It's
team.
always Lauren Connell and Tara Blanco out there inciting the wave. They've done it for the most part of the entire season, and now that they've got a packed house, they're responding quite well to the wave, myself included.
This crowd is, they've embraced it. Blanco and Connell fired up at the response they're seeing. They're even doing the wave out beyond the left field stands. We can only see the heads of the fans who have decided to view the game from afar, but they certainly have a good view of the action and have to be enjoying what they've seen so far out of this team.
They come from far, and they come from close, and they come from everywhere in between to see this Wolverines team. And not even the parents of the players, but there's a very strong contingent of Wolverines fans that travel with them everywhere they go. And it's just unbelievable the following this team has. And since they've been this good, it's just increased more and more as the season's gone on.
Yeah, we saw that at Buckeye Field in Columbus. No matter who was playing, it seemed as though Michigan fans compared of attendees.
We had someone tweet at us all the way from Maryland, made the drive to Columbus to see that game, and no relation to anybody on the team, just wanted to see some Wolverines sports, and this softball team is the team to watch right now. All eyes are on them.
All eyes will be on Lauren Sweet as she leads off the inning for the Wolverines. Susella, I'll use the terms you used earlier, the alpha and omega of last inning, leading off, getting on base, sparking the rally, and then recording the final out. Sweet with a bunt base hit in her most recent at-bat. She is, I believe, 1 for 2 on today's game. No, she is 1 for 1 with, I believe, a sack bunt earlier or something. The first pitch she sees, she swings and check swing, fouls it off the catcher's mitt and back to the backstop.
And again, we talk about the winning innings. The Wolverines haven't dropped one yet. If you tally it like a boxing match, they won the first and second innings 1-0 run-wise respectively, and 5-1 in the last inning. And they look to tally more here as they get closer to run rule.
The 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen behind home plate. Haley Zemmer ahead in the count, 0-2 on the senior catcher, Lauren Sweet.
And that's what Zemmer's got to do if she has any hope of shutting down this Wolverines lineup. She's got to get ahead of them, and then she has a little bit more room to work now that she's up 2-0 and has a little bit more room to put it on the outside part of the plate.
The 0-2 pitch just misses off the outside corner for ball 1. She was trying to nibble on that outside corner, but Could not find the zone there.
Pitches like that are where she's going to have to make her bread and butter after this point. And Lauren Sweet thought about that one, brought the bat off her shoulder a bit, but held up on it.
The 1-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball, relatively deep right field, but Meade will settle under that one and make the catch a step in front of the warning track. 1 up, 1 down for the Wolverines.
Well, we haven't seen a big dinger yet today, and the fans still waiting for one to make its way over the fences here at Alumni Field.
Well, I guess the home fans, the Grizzlies fans here, already got to see a big fly off the bat of Laura Pond, but the Wolverines, a power-laden team, yet to leave the yard. The first pitch to Lindsay Montemarano was a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Nobody on base with 1 out for the Wolverines. Montemarano with an RBI double in the right center field gap in her last plate appearance.
The dark clouds have subsided and given way to a little bit of sunlight again.
The 0-1 pitch misses high and outside with the breaking ball, does Zemmer. The count now 1-1 on Montemarano.
It's been about a perfect night for hitting and for softball in general. It's been about 70 degrees since the game started. Easy to swing, not too hot, not too cold.
The 1-1 pitch is swung on and ripped foul down the left field line. Montemarano got all of that one and has prodigious power to the gap. And that one, if it were down the left field line, probably would have found its way to the wall.
Power to both the gaps. We saw in the last half inning for the Wolverines in the bottom of the third, she laced what would be ruled a double to right field off the glove of Meade.
The 1-2 pitch now to Montemarano, swung on, grounded on several hops. Kisman fields at second, throws over to first. 2 up, 2 down for the Wolverines in the bottom half of the fourth, and that's going to bring up Aiden Falk.
It's about as routine of an out as we've seen the Grizzlies produce so far tonight. It's been difficult for them to keep these Wolverine hitters at bay, and they're not unlike any other team that the Wolverines have faced all season, having troubles.
First pitch to Falk, breaking ball misses off the plate inside for ball 1. The catcher, Hill, had a little bit of trouble with that one, able to snag it though. The final line on the day for Kanaki, 2.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 walks, 7 runs, and 6 earned. The 1-0 pitch to Falk is swung on and missed. That one up in the zone on the outer edge of the plate.
Not a very comfortable looking swing there from Falk. Kind of took a wave at it, not a whole lot of power put into it or a whole lot of effort, it seemed. And
it really wasn't. She was all arms on that one. Looked defensive. The 1-1 pitch is swung in line down the left field line, foul over the heads of some elderly fans just beyond the Michigan dugout, and they didn't really have a chance at that because of the screen, but that's why we have the screen there at Alumni Field.
The tuba getting everybody into it here now. You go, tuba guy.
Yeah, tuba guy having fun. Really glad to see the band out here for this regional game. It's adding a touch that you wouldn't normally see, making this game just a bit more special for those in attendance.
A lot of nice touches here today. They even got us Dasani water bottles and really breaking out the high-quality stuff for the regional here.
The 1-2 pitch to Falk, swinging a ground ball, hit softly to Kisman. She fields, throws over to first. A 1-2-3 inning for the Wolverines in the bottom of the fourth leaves us still with a 7-1 Wolverines lead heading into the top half of the 5th inning. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
That's as good of a pitching inning as the Oakland Golden Grizzlies have had so far tonight. Credit to Zemmer for really shutting down any good hitting that the Wolverines stood to have there and really placed her pitches well and worked them a bit on the inside, produced some ground balls, and got herself out of the inning a lot quicker than her counterpart, Kanaki, was able to do at the start of this game, and seems to have settled into a good pace here as she finishes up the bottom of the 4th inning there.
And to my eyes, she's not doing anything appreciably different from what Kanaki did. Perhaps she's just a different look for these Wolverines hitters. Only has made one mistake. That one, I think that was the first pitch to Sierra Romero that she lined into left field. I think that Kanaki got pulled after hitting Sierra Lawrence back in the 3rd inning. But perhaps the second time these Wolverines hitters get to see Zemmer, they will have equal success against her. But as it stands, she's been solid. 1.2 innings out of the bullpen. No runs, 1 hit.
Had to do a lot of what most pitchers have had to do this season against the Wolverines. Work the outside part of the plate, keep it away from their bats, which are seemingly on fire, although no flame is visible coming off of the aluminum.
Yeah, the batting gloves would have to be pretty high-tech stuff to handle that.
Well, I'm sure if they make them, this Wolverines team has it. Nothing but the best for this program under the captainship of Carol Hutchins, going on 3+ decades of dominance.
And the dominant captain has decided to make a slight personnel change on the rubber right now for the Wolverines. The lefty, the senior, Haley Wagner. Betsa's final line on the day, 4 innings pitched, only 1 hit given up. That a home run to Laura Pond. 10 strikeouts over 4 innings. And Wagner going to look to finish this one out and let Betsa pitch with a fresh arm in tomorrow's game.
It will seem as though Megan Betsa will get the start tomorrow against, if this lead holds, the Wolverines will be playing the Cal Golden Bears tomorrow afternoon. And, it's really not a step down at all going from Betsa to Wagner. Wagner coming into this game with a 1.7 ERA, 21-2 in her win-loss column, and she's appeared in 30 games for the Wolverines. She's come in as relief in 7 of them, so this would be her 8th relief appearance. And opponents were hitting $162 against Betsa, and they're still just hitting .206 against Wagner. And they've been 2 of the most shut-down pitchers in college softball, and it's just a blessing for the Wolverines to have both of them on the same team.
A truly terrific tandem these Wolverines softball players have. Wagner, not quite as overpowering as Betsa. She can still record punch-outs in her own rights, however, and also walks are virtually non-existent with Wagner on the mound. Really knows how to command the zone. The first hitter she faces is the right fielder Lauren Mead, and the first pitch she throws is a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1.
Really just looking to pick up where Betsa left off. Wagner doesn't bring the same speed that Betsa brings, but she's really good at painting those corners and working all the edges of the strike zone.
The 0-1 pitch from Wagner, breaking ball, swing and a miss by Lauren Mead. Way out in front of that one. A pitch that was spotted about ankle high, just dropped right out of the zone. Wagner quickly ahead in the count 0-2.
And unlike Betsa, Wagner does work in quite a bit more breaking stuff than does Betsa.
The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball off the plate outside, swing and a miss, strike 3. Mead down on strikes. Sweet threw down to first just in case that one dropped, but I think Sweet made the catch behind the plate anyway.
Perhaps wishful thinking on the behalf of the Oakland Grizzlies there.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't think that, given the replay, I don't think that one even touched third. That'll bring up Laura Pond. Homered in her last at-bat, swings at the first pitch, grounds it softly to Montemurano. She fields, throws over to Blanco at first, 2 up, 2 down for Oakland. 4 pitches and 4 strikes thrown by Haley Wagner. The first out, a punch-out, that one a ground out, and that will bring up the catcher, Lindsey Hill.
Pond had her big moment and hit that big solo shot, and it was only a 2-1 game at that point, and perhaps looking like the Grizzlies stood a chance to make it close here, and the Wolverines blew them away in the bottom half of that inning with a 5 spot.
The first pitch from Wagner to Hill, a fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Hill, the sophomore, walked in her last plate appearance. Wagner works quickly on the rubber. She winds and delivers the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner. Wagner has yet to throw a ball in 6 pitches.
Just keyed in early on here. And even with the small strike zone that home plate umpire Matt Johnson has had tonight, she's still able to find every edge to her favor.
The 0-2 pitch, swinging a ground ball on a couple hops to Romero. She fields, tosses over to Blanco at first, and that'll do it for the Grizzlies. 7 pitches, 7 strikes, and 3 outs for Oakland in the top half of the 5th. We'll head to the bottom half with Michigan leading the Grizzlies 7-1 here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball.
Well, not a whole lot you can say there. That was about as smooth a sailing as it gets for the Wolverines in that inning. Haley Wagner didn't even miss the strike zone, and there's just not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot to give you.
Well, that's your job, Jeremy. You're not doing your job.
I mean, when you've been doing it all season long, you start to run out of things and become repetitive. It's just been the same story every time we've called a game for these Wolverines, and it's mostly been dominant pitching and strong hitting. It's just been those 2 aspects and everything working right for the Wolverines, and that's just continuing here as they get into regionals and looking a strong candidate at the moment to make it through these regionals.
Over at Ray Fisher, we're going to update you on that game. The current score is 3-3 with 1 out in the 5th inning. Oklahoma State is threatening to score on the Wolverines.
A far cry from yesterday's game. The Wolverines got trampled yesterday. by Oklahoma State.
Yeah, that score 8-0, and they don't have run rules over there in baseball, I don't believe.
Are you sure it was 8-0? I thought they scored double digits.
I'm pretty sure that the final score in the game was 8-0. I can double check here on the computer, but pretty sure that's the case.
Looks like there was a big Jackson Glines home run earlier in that game.
Earlier in today's game.
I think that was it. Back up a bit.
It's 12-2. 12-2 was the final in yesterday's game. I was out of line with that one. Good thing I have my ace color commentator here in Jeremy Parks to correct me, because I am wrong so many times.
I've just got eyes and ears everywhere, Morris. Should know this by now.
And the dance, or the loud dance music playing over the sound delivery devices, I guess I should have just called them loudspeakers here at Alumni Field. The camera going around capturing some of the more elderly fans getting down here at Alumni Field. Everybody's having a good time as the Wolverines have a chance to put this one away with 2 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yep, a 2-run Wolverine inning would give them the win by run rule. They wouldn't have to produce any more outs defensively, and they've done it so many times this season that I wouldn't be too surprised if they notched 2 this inning.
Well, they're going to have to get runners on base first, and leading off, attempting to get on base, will be Tara Blanco. Blanco for the Wolverines is 0 for 0 on today's game. I think she's gotten hit by a pitch and walked in 2 at-bats. Looking to, again, get on base. Zemmer still on the rubber for the Grizzlies. Her first pitch on the outside corner at the knees for strike 1. Good location with the hard fastball by Haley Zemmer.
She's going to have to keep doing what she did in that last half inning for the Grizzlies and keep up her solid pitching on the edges.
The next pitch is a breaking ball that misses off the plate away. The count now 1-1 on Blanco, and pretty soon Zemmer's going to run into the portion of the Wolverines lineup that has seen her before. If the pass is any indication, that could be where the fireworks fly. The 1-1 pitch to Blanco, a fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. The count 1-2 on the freshman first baseman. Zemmer takes a couple steps out of the circle, now steps back on the rubber, working slowly on the bump. The 1-2 pitch to Blanco off the plate, low and away for ball 2.
Just still trying to keep it away from the middle of the plate where she knows every hitter in this lineup can take her deep.
Blanco has had some devastating big flies on the year for the Wolverines. The count 1-2. The delivery by Zemmer, swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. Ball gets away from the catcher Hill. Blanco streaking down to first. The throw beats her by a step. Good job by Hill to stay composed behind the plate, come up with that ball and throw it on the inside of the first base line where the first baseman Cup could make the play. It's often difficult to avoid hitting the base runner in the back. Blanco stayed within that base path down the first base line, and Hill made the fundamentally sound play. The first pitch now to Abby Ramirez is a breaking ball that misses low and in for ball 1. Wind's still dead. The sky's still cloudy, but pleasant here on this fine evening night in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The 1-0 pitch to Ramirez, swinging a ground ball off of the pitcher's glove. Zemmer fielded that one up the middle, but no play at first base as Ramirez is in there with a 1-out single.
Well, it was good, quick reflexes from Zemmer, just not able to close her glove on it, and it bounced a little bit off to her side, and by that time it had touched the ground, it looked like Ramirez was just about already touching the bag at first base.
That'll bring up Sierra Lawrence. Lawrence is 1 for 2 on today's game, an infield single in her first at-bat. Takes the first pitch off the plate outside for ball 1. Lawrence, an infield single to lead off the game. An out in her second at-bat, and got hit on the knee with a pitch in her most recent plate appearance. The count now 1-0 on her. The pitch by Zemmer on the outside corner for strike 1. Throw down to first base. Ramirez back in, standing up with ease.
Making sure that Ramirez doesn't advance here. Not so much the lackadaisical approach that Oakland has taken early on in this game to the Wolverines stealing bases and keeping her honest.
The 1-1 pitch to Lawrence misses off the plate outside. The count now 2-1.
Good pitch again there from Zemmer. She picked her spot well. Just missed it by a bit, maybe trying to get Lawrence to chase after that one, but a good eye.
The 2-1 pitch now from Zemmer, swung on and grounded softly to short field. The throw down to second is in time to record the force out. They're not even going to try the double play. Lawrence into first base on the fielder's choice. So now 2 outs and Sierra Romero in the batter's box for the Wolverines.
Well, a big fly from Romero here would end the game, but the Wolverines still sitting comfortably all the same with the 7-1 lead.
Zemmer gave up a single to Romero in her last at-bat. This pitch is a breaking ball, felt high over the outside corner for strike 1. Lawrence a threat to steal down at first base, not going on that one.
Lawrence now 22 for 23 on the season in her stolen base attempts. Had one earlier in the game with no throwdown, just a light jog there.
The 0-1 pitch misses low with the fastball. The count 1-1 now on Romero. Romero with 143 at-bats on the year, 20 home runs. So that's about 1 homer per 7 at-bats, if my math is right. The 1-1 pitch, breaking ball, called strike on the outside corner. The count out 1-2 on Michigan's second baseman.
Hill behind the plate, still making that throw down to first to keep Lawrence honest as well.
It's done the job so far. Michigan hasn't stolen a base here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-2 the count on Romero. Here's the pitch. It misses low and away for ball 2.
The 2-2 count, always a favorite for Sierra Romero to take a big cut. We'll see what she decides to do here, and we'll see where Zemmer decides to give her something.
The power does not diminish with 2 strikes on Michigan's second baseman. The 2-2 pitch from Zemmer misses in the dirt for a ball. Lawrence takes off and slides into second with a stolen base. The pitch was in the dirt, so there was not much Hill could do to get the speedy center fielder. Lawrence now in scoring position with 2 outs for the Wolverines.
Sierra Lawrence with the good mind there to see that the ball was already going to hit the dirt before it even made it to the plate, and took off the second she saw it was going to be low.
Full count now on Romero. The pitch misses in the dirt for ball 4. Romero trots down to first base with a walk, and you never want to put the winning run on base, but that might be the best case scenario given how Romero has torn up opposing pitching this year.
And given how Kelly Christner has been slightly cold as of late, hasn't looked her true self in terms of power hitting.
First pitch to Christner misses in the dirt for ball 1. Zemmer having trouble getting her pitch up into the strike zone. The count now 1-0 on Christner. Romero was behind in the count 1-2, and then Haley Zemmer threw 3 straight balls. Now, after 1 ball to Christner, the catcher Hill will get a towel and bring it out to her righty on the mound to dry off her hands. It's not a very hot day out, but when you're out there being active on the mound, you can get sweaty at times, and it is a humid day as it rained this morning, so perhaps the hands.
And there are some of those people who are just weird and naturally have sweaty palms.
Yeah.
Not that Zemmer has naturally sweaty palms, I wouldn't know, but
those
people do exist.
You don't want to make assumptions about other people's palms. The 1-0 pitch to Christner, breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. The count now 1-1. Whatever it may be, Zemmer now has dry enough palms to confront the Michigan lineup.
Threw a good pitch with a dry palm there.
The 1-1 to Christner, swinging a line drive softly back up the middle. It is bobbled by the shortstop Hartley. Lawrence will score from second base on an infield grounder. That's definitely going to go down as an error. Hartley would have been able to just field and step on second base there. Couldn't come up with it. A run scores for the Wolverines. The lead is now 7, still with 2 outs and 2 on.
And again, miscues have just basically handed the Wolverines 2 runs in this game. And Oakland staring ever closer to a run rule defeat with 1 more runner to cross the plate for the Wolverines.
Hartley just simply pulled up her head and looked at the bag. The first pitch from Zemmer misses off the plate outside to Susala. And yeah, that was a case of getting ahead of yourself out there in the diamond, not making sure the ball is in your mitt before you go on and make your next move.
Thinking about the play before the play happens.
The 1-0 pitch, a breaking ball in there for a called strike. That one looked like it might have been high, but finds the zone. The count even at 1-1 now on Kelsey Susala. The winning run on second base in Sierra Romero. the run rule winning run, I should say. The 1-1 pitch is swung on and popped up foul into the screen behind home plate. Another pitch up in the zone on the outer edge. Susala will have to get defensive with her swing now.
Zemmer has done well so far in relief tonight, getting ahead of hitters. She's struggled to keep them at bay after getting ahead, though, and that's really been the question to which she has not had the answer.
Zemmer with the 1-2. Swinging a foul ball over the screen and out of play behind home plate. Susala did strike out swinging in her last at-bat, looking to avoid a repeat performance and bring home the winning run from second base. Outfield shaded about normal depth for the Grizzlies on the powerful Susala. The 1-2 pitch, swinging a fly ball right center field. That one is going to be caught by the center fielder Salinas, ranging over toward that right center field gap. So Michigan comes within 1 run of ending the game. We head to the top of the 6th inning with Michigan leading the Grizzlies 8-1 here at Alumni Field.
Well, Susala got a good piece of that one, but again, out in center field, Salinas has good range and was able to come over and snag that one to prevent anything from happening and basically prevent Michigan from winning the game. However, Michigan inches closer with another run, and it seems as though they are primed to put this one away with the 8-1 lead. And credit a little bit of that to some defensive miscues from Oakland so far today. 2 errors, but even with the 2 errors, there have been a few more plays in which they've made some questionable choices on defense and have shown a lack of sound defensive skill.
You're referring to the bunts, I would imagine. Because
the bunts as well, and the mishandling out in right field by Meade on the Montemurano, what turned into a double, possibly could have held her at a single, who knows. And
yeah, and to come in here and beat a team like Michigan at Alumni Field, you have to be nearly perfect due to the high quality of this Michigan team. And Oakland has not been that. Michigan's taken advantage. It's about what we expected coming into today's game.
They looked the part in the top of the 3rd after Pond hit that solo home run. It looked like maybe they were going to be able to do something here tonight against the Wolverines, but even with the loss tonight, Oakland is not out of this tournament. They're still a good softball team, and they're going to wind up playing Pitt tomorrow if the score holds.
Yeah, that game, the Pitt, assuming that the score holds, Oakland game will be at 6:30 p.m. You can listen to that one, or watch that one, I should say, on ESPN2. The game we'll be calling, if the score holds, will be Michigan-Cal at 4 p.m. You can also watch that on ESPN2. Of course, you would do so with the volume off so that you could hear us call the game on YouTube.
Again, we want to thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are currently broadcasting on WCBN Sports 1. We do have channels both 1 and 2, so we can be in many places at once, as is the fact across the yard today with our 3-man broadcasting crew on the Michigan-Oklahoma State baseball game. And subscribe to us if you haven't. Follow us on Twitter at WCBN Sports. You'll see a lot of our broadcasters' Twitter handles through following that as well, and feel free to follow us and tweet at us how we're doing, what you'd like us to do differently. If you're enjoying us at all, we thank some of you who have already tweeted out to us within the last week and a half, and we do really enjoy your feedback. So be sure to hit us up in common terms.
Marina Salinas will lead off the inning for the Grizzlies in the lefty batter's box. Wagner's first pitch just misses off the plate outside for ball 1, the first ball that Wagner has thrown in the game.
Well, we want you to hit us up, but we want Haley Wagner to hit up the strike zone as she did in the last half inning. Took her 6 strikes, and that was it.
It's a good segue, Jeremy. The 1-0 pitch is cut on miss. Salinas barely started her swing by the time that one was in the glove of the catcher, Lauren Sweet. The count now 1-1. Updating you on the status of that baseball game. Really looks like the attendance is more Oklahoma State than Michigan. The 1-1 pitch, not a swing. She squares to bunt. Salinas bunts it foul over on the right side. The count now 1-2.
Well, softball, obviously the more popular choice at the Wilpon Complex tonight. Baseball not in the playoffs. Softball is in the playoffs, but softball has seen a higher attendance rate overall this season, as they are one of the hottest teams in the country and a whole lot of fun to watch, as Morris and I have done firsthand throughout this season.
Wagner winds the 1-2 pitch to Salinas, misses high and outside with the fastball there. trying to overpower the diminutive lefty for these Oakland Grizzlies.
Diminutive in stature.
Diminutive, maybe not the right word, but it certainly is for
stout in stature.
Yes. The 2-2 pitch from Wagner just misses low with that fastball. The count now full on Salinas.
Not the tallest of hitters, but Salinas still does pretty well at the plate. Came into this one hitting .234, and she's got a home run to her name.
Salinas stands at 5'2", 5'2". So you can use that to judge her height. The 3-2 pitch from Wagner, swing and a miss. Overpowering fastball in on the hands of Salinas. A defensive hack that found nothing. Another strikeout for Wagner for the first out of this 6th inning.
Well, I don't think stature has much to do with anything, as we've seen Megan Betza and Haley Wagner strike out everyone in their path all season long and just continue to mow down hitters, short, tall, and everything in between.
That'll bring up Kisman. She takes the first pitch high and out of the zone. Jackie Kisman, the leadoff hitter for the Oakland Grizzlies, probably the shortest player on their team, standing at 5'1". But interestingly enough, she's only drawn 5 walks in 49 games on the season. She squares the bunt, pulls back at the 1-0 pitch, and takes it over the outside corner for a called strike. She's had 5 walks and 7 strikeouts, over 190 at-bats, standing at 5'1".
She does like to swing from what we've seen. That might have something to do with it.
1-1 pitch from Wagner, off speed, grounded softly to short. Ramirez fields, throws over to first. Quick transfer, gets Kisman. And that's the second out of the inning for Haley Wagner and the Wolverines.
Well, it helps to have longer legs to get that speed down the first base line. And at 5'1", not exactly the longest legs on the team, and not able to beat out the throw of Abby Ramirez, who is a sure shot at shortstop.
I mean, she must have just incredible hand-eye coordination. The 363 average does belie that. That'll bring up Morgan Muron. She swings at the first pitch and fouls it hard back to the backstop behind home plate. Pitch that was low and away. The count now 0-1 on Muron.
Muron hadn't seen a whole lot of action defensively in the field today at the hot corner, something relatively uncommon with these Wolverine hitters who pull and slap balls down to that corner all the time.
The 0-1 pitch from Wagner misses high and outside. The count now 1-1 on Muron. Lawrence, the center fielder, maybe a step toward the left center field gap. Everybody else straight away. The 1-1 pitch from Wagner. Muron swings, taps it softly to Monty Morano. She fields, throws over to first. 3 up, 3 down for Haley Wagner. She has been perfect in relief. And the Wolverines have been near perfect in this game. They take their 8-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning here at Alumni Field, looking to send their fans home happy.
And again, just one more run would give the Wolverines an inning early run rule victory here again. They currently lead at 8-1. And I think their minds are slowly turning to the fact that they're going to have to face their toughest opponent possibly in this regional tournament tomorrow in the Cal Golden Bears, who beat down on the Pitt Panthers earlier this afternoon, 11-3 in a run rule victory there. And Cal coming in extremely hot as well. Be an interesting matchup tomorrow if this score does in fact hold. And every indication would tell you that it will.
Yeah, we do always have to add those caveats because unlike basketball, football, hockey, baseball game is not over until the last out is recorded. There's no time limit set, so it's definitely conceivable that the Oakland Grizzlies could put up a 7th spot in the top of the 7th, but that might have to occur in an alternate universe where the Michigan pitching is not so dominant as it has been.
The Wolverines have been doing their best recent Justin Verlander impression, only giving fans 5 innings of work in most of their games.
Oh, Jeremy, that hurts a little bit.
Well, hopefully he comes back well. Heard an interview with him yesterday. He's starting to get back into his progressions and throwing again, and the Tigers' rotation could use him. Lobstein has proven to be a bit shaky in his stead.
Meanwhile, on the baseball field, Michigan has taken a 5-4 lead in the bottom of the 5th, thanks to a Cody Bruder RBI single.
You are right, though, Morris. It does look like there's more Oklahoma State orange than Michigan maize and blue over there.
Well, Oklahoma State is a nationally ranked baseball team, and, down in Oklahoma, baseball is big, and maybe they're just a little better fans than Michigan has in baseball. Michigan's baseball program has a storied history, but it hasn't really been on top of the world as of late. Although Coach Bakich, I'd say, has had them on upward trend. That's generally the vibe that we try to project for every athletic program.
They are looking up with some young talent on the mound with Wysocki. You got Newduff. You got a lot of good young guns on that Michigan baseball team.
Jake Bivens, the shortstop out of Battle Creek, contending for Freshman of the Year.
Bivens definitely has been one of the bright spots for a baseball team that suffered from just about an average season, and look for them in the future to do some more impressive things as their younger players now start to mature and give way to a new era of Michigan baseball, if it were.
Leading off this inning for the Wolverines will be the catcher, Lauren Sweet. Michigan in the middle of a dominant era of softball right now, as they have been, well, pretty much as far as I've been alive. Sweet swings the first pitch, line drive snagged. A leaping catch by Sarah Cupp over at first base. That one almost looped over her head and down the right field line. Would have been trouble. Athletic play by the first bagger.
Cupp not the tallest either, but she still got the glove extended up behind her head to keep it from being a bit of a duck snort single into shallow right field. One of the favorite terms of Morris Fabry, the duck snort.
First pitch to Monte Morano, in there for a called strike, a breaking ball. Monte Morano, not last weekend, but the weekend before, ended a Saturday game via the run rule with a walk-off homer to left field. Looking to recapture some of that magic, perhaps. The 0-1 pitch by Zemmer, a fastball just misses outside for ball one. The count even at 1-1.
The walk-off run rule, something very familiar to fans and followers of this Michigan softball team. As we said, they don't very often play all 7 innings.
The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball just misses off the plate outside. Zemmer's behind 2-1 now on Monte Morano. Monty is 1 for 3 on today's game with an RBI double. The 2-1 pitch now from Zemmer. A bunt down the first baseline. That one going to trickle foul, where it's picked up by Sarah Cupp. Bit of a harder bunt than the one off of Sierra Romero's bat down the first baseline. I think that Monte Morano would have beaten that out had she kept it fair, though.
It looked as though she would have, just based on the positioning of the first baseman and the fact that Kissman had not made it over to first base yet.
Yeah, she's playing pretty deep in that second base hole. The count 2-2 on Monte Morano. The pitch, a line drive, base hit into right field. That one dropping right in front of the right fielder, Lauren Mead. She bobbled it, but Monte Morano will stop at first base with a 1-out single.
Mead hasn't shown the best handles out and right, but it hasn't affected her too much. I think we're going to see Taylor Swearingen here, if I'm not mistaken.
It will indeed be Taylor Swearingen batting in the stead of Aiden Falk. Coach Carol Hutchins.
An unmistakable long flowing ponytail of Taylor Swearingen.
Yeah. Flowing
luscious locks.
Brown blonde mane draped down her back. Exchanged some words with Carol Hutchins, and the Michigan dugouts turning up to the song
Turn Down for What?
Turn Down for What? They're
well, getting crunk to some Lil Jon.
Yeah, I know what about like a third of those words means.
This team definitely sips on the crunk juice.
Enough of that. The first pitch from Zemmer. Line foul down the first baseline off the dugout. Swearingen in the Wolverines righties batter's box, hitting .224 on the year with 9 home runs and 17 RBI. The winning run, the walk-off winning run on first base is Lindsay Montemorano.
Coach Hutchins giving Swearingen her chance to get some cuts in the batter's box with this comfortable lead here and just keeping everybody fresh.
The 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses low and away for ball one. The count now 1-1 on Taylor Swearingen. 1 out here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Wolverines with 8 runs on 7 hits. Oakland with 1 run on 1 hit. The Lauren Pond home run. The 1-1 pitch to Swearingen. Breaking ball called strike on the outside corner. The count now 1-2.
Good pitch from Zemmer there. She seems to be taking some more time between pitches to recollect herself, and it seems as though it falls out of a groove when it starts to slow down in the circle, but slowing down for her has seemed to work relatively all right.
1-2 count. The pitch from Zemmer. Swinging a line drive. Base hit in the right center field gap. That one rolls all the way to the wall. Montemurano rounding second. Rounding third. She's headed to the plate. Kisman bobbles the cutoff throw. The throw is late. Montemurano in safely. A walk-off RBI double for Taylor Swearingen. That'll do it here from Alumni Field. The Wolverines win 9-1 as the marching band plays Hail to the Victors, and the crowd gets to go home happy.
Wow, Swearingen getting to play walk-off hero today. It's circled its way around this entire Michigan team, and Swearingen is the pinch hitter, gets the glory this afternoon, and sends Michigan into a matchup with the Cal Golden Bears tomorrow afternoon. And pretty much as expected game for the Wolverines. Good pitching from both Betza and Wagner. And the Wolverines bats follow suit, give them 9 runs of support, and end this game an inning early, 9-1.
Really everybody getting into the act for the Wolverines. Not one specific offensive star. Montemurano was a spark plug. Romero had a key 2-run single. Sierra Lawrence scored 2 runs on the game. Betza was her usual dominant self, 4 innings pitched, giving up only 1 hit, striking out 10. Wagner, perfect in relief, a solid all-around team effort. If I had to pick a player of the game, I'd have to just point to the whole team and call it good. What are your thoughts? Final thoughts?
I'd point to the pitching in both Betza and Wagner. I know you want me to pick one, but I think that's a joint unit, the two of them. And really, when one of them falls behind a little bit, we saw a little bit of shakiness out of Betza back in that 3rd inning, giving up the solo shot. And, you know, she got herself out of it and gave way to Wagner, and Wagner pitched herself a gem in relief afterwards, and that has the Wolverines doing their best DJ Khaled impression, as all they do is win as of late.
That was good, Jeremy. They're going to look to continue their rendition of DJ Khaled, perhaps. Carry this momentum into tomorrow's game against the Cal Golden Bears. You can listen to us as we call that one at 4 p.m., but until then, we're going to leave you with I guess we got to say our names first. Thanks for listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan softball. I'm Morris Fabry. He's Jeremy Parks, and we'll leave you with a good night and a go blue. Thank you so much for tuning in.